little birds. This is a game by Mother Crow. Now, hello and welcome to the Screaming Closet. Pardon the different tone of voice for this particular one. Today we are playing a game that I have genuinely been too scared to play before. This is Anatomy by Kitty Horror Show. This is not blind, because this game is actually genuinely terrifying for me. I'm going to try and keep my commentary very direct, still very genuine, but this is probably one of the most horrifying games that I've ever seen within the last 2 years. And so I'm going to try and give it the genuine experience that it deserves.
In the psychology of the modern civilized human being, it is difficult to overstate the significance of the house. Since as early as the Neolithic era, humankind has defined itself by its buildings. Buildings for worship, buildings for socializing, buildings for protection, even buildings for the commemoration of the dead. But of all the structures that mankind has invented for itself, there is little doubt that the house is that which it relies upon most completely for its continued survival.
So, I feel like this is a good point to give an actual warning to the viewer. Watching horror games is a little bit of a different experience from actually playing video games. I'm a little bit out of the experience right now, and I hope in some ways I'm almost able to bring you out of the experience a little bit as well, too. Although this game doesn't inherently, fucking Christ, deserve it. This is an extremely good game. Jesus. I'm getting scared just playing it. If you're the type of person that spends a lot of time indoors and needs to do that sort of thing, I recommend not playing this game. If for one reason or another you need to stay inside of a home for a long period of time, I highly recommend that it's wise to click away. This game is about what can make a house alone horrifying.
The house is one of the key elements that separates modern humanity from its more primitive antecedents. No other creature goes to such lengths to create lasting, permanent shelter for itself, nor regards said shelters with such reverence and import. Why do human beings of our modern age foster this tremendous sympathy toward their homes? There are many reasons, of course, but perhaps it is due in some small part to seeing them as a reflection of ourselves.
Close that door because it's going to make me more comfortable. I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight. Part of what makes this game so killer for me, and the reason why I'm talking so much while playing this game, is its atmosphere is just so thick.
The anatomy of the house is such that this analogy is less superficial than at first it may seem. To carry it further, if we were to dissect a house as we might a human cadaver, we would find ourselves able to isolate and describe its various appendages and their functions in a decidedly anatomical fashion. There is even a fair number of direct comparisons to be drawn between those organs of a house and those of a human body.
This because I'm really done with this. Oh, Christ. Kitty Horror Show is a developer that's grabbed my attention quite a lot. She is, according to her like developer bio, an actual witch, and a lot of what she creates in the games that she creates are widely based on the things that she practices within her Wiccan faith. I don't know what the proper term is. I apologize to anyone who is Wiccan. I cannot grab this tape. I do not know why I can't grab this tape. I'm looking directly the fucking at it. Let me grab this fucking tape. This is a I did buy this game. It's $2.99 out on itch.io. Price on a cracker. Why can't I grab the fucking tape? Oh. Well, I'll just get in. I'll get inside the Is there a different tape I should be grabbing? That seems like the one. Oh, there's a sprint. I didn't know there was a sprint. I just want that tape. This is glitchy. And it's making me upset. This fucking static noise is just it's really not okay with me right now. Oh! Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Loneliness in a house is a really difficult game concept for me, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to.
For example, let us examine the living room. Often the dominant space of a house's ground level, as well as typically the center of activity in a well-populated home, the living room is very much the heart of the house. While a human heart circulates blood to oxygenate the body's extremities, the living room circulates people, activity, communication. It is the room most likely to be found beating, as active and vivacious as its name would imply. The comparison is only strengthened when we consider also that the living room is most commonly the room to contain the fireplace, making it additionally a locus of actual physical heat.
And now we have to go to the living room. Forgive me that I'm kind of like chickening out by looking down at the floor all the time. I know I could have probably just gone through the it's right fucking there. Game, are you gonna be glitchy with me? Because I'm not gonna fucking have it if you're gonna be glitchy with me. I just, like, oh, Jesus Christ. I just, like, hyped it up hard. This game is genuinely... Where the fuck am I? Oh, this is the dining room. Okay. Alright.
It is easy to think of the kitchen and dining room as the stomach or digestive system of a house, though this comparison is tenuous. By contrast, the function and analog of a bathroom should be immediately obvious. The hallways and corridors of a house are its veins, providing circulation, coursing throughout its frame. A staircase bears more than a passing resemblance, both physically and symbolically, to a spine. The windows of a house serve much the same purpose as eyes, and anyone who has ever rounded a bend or long drive and come suddenly face to face with a tall, dark manor will tell you that it is difficult to shake the impression that the house, through its lightless windows, is a creature capable of vision and intelligence. The bedroom is perhaps the room that most eludes direct comparison in this fashion. At a stretch, and allowing for a bit of poetic sympathy, it might be said that the bedroom is not unlike the human mind, or those parts of it which dictate thought and imagination. In the bedroom, dreams are dreamt, passions are ignited, epiphanies are experienced in cold sweat at early hours. In the bedroom is where people invariably spend the majority of their time, though comparatively little of it whilst conscious.
You can hear the clicking of locks throughout the house. God, I don't fucking like this game. I need the tape game. I need the tape game. What fucks with me is that this is a game I had to not play this blind, because some scares just get my heart going too much to I'll let the game talk.
And yet, this analogy is an incomplete one, for obviously the mind is an exceedingly complex thing. If the bedroom represents the thinking, dreaming part of the brain, then it is the basement that represents those lower, unconscious parts. The basement is dark. It is buried. It is a place full of cobwebs where memories are stored. A poignant comparison, truly. Often the unnerving uncertainty that comes with considering the deeper aspects of the human psyche is not unlike gazing down at the swimming blackness pooled at the bottom of a basement stairwell. It is a place we spend our childhoods filling with monsters that will lay for years in patient silence. It is a place that, barring some specific errand, we seldom ever want to go.
So naturally, we must head to the basement. Trying to get a feel for how this game, how this weird glitchy parts are fucking with me. For the record, I'm not hugging walls or anything like that to avoid jump scares. To my knowledge, there are actually no jump scares in this game. It's just that
Of course, this comparison, though appropriate, is a very heavy-handed one, and often the basement is little more than a storage space littered with the corpses of spiders and woodlice. While poets and psychoanalysts no doubt dread the thought of a dark basement, in truth, it is the bedroom, the waking mind, that place of dreams. It is actually the most frightening of all.
And now to the master bedroom. What was I saying? For the record, I'm not trying to take different paths or something in order to try and avoid jump scares. There. And now the door is gone. Replaced only with a tape recorder.
It is here, in the bedroom, that we are at our most vulnerable. Each night we shut our senses to the world for hours at a time, trusting in the house to keep us safe until next we wake. In this state of extreme vulnerability, we will spend something like 20% of our lives. Anything might stand beside us, watch us, keep us company until dawn, and we would never perceive it. We can only pray that the house will not let such things carry on as we sleep. In this way, during these hours, the bedroom seems less like a mind and more like a mouth. For it is here that the house is most likely to betray us. It is here that we place ourselves most at the house's mercy and spend each night hoping that it will not bite down.
And then the game closes itself. This is where a good amount of gamers stop playing this game. We're not most gamers. For the real game begins once you reopen the game. Just like an old tape recorder, you hear the game rewind itself. And now we find things are distorted. The atmosphere is different.
In the psychology of the modern civilized human being, it is difficult to overstate the significance of the house. Since as early as the Neolithic era, humankind has defied the dead. But of all the structures that mankind has invented for itself, there is little doubt that the house is that which it relies upon most completely for its continued survival.
We open the dining room. We can break the plates now. I wasn't aware that's something we were able to do before, but that genuinely actually freaked me out.
Why do human beings of our modern age foster this tremendous sympathy?
It's here we begin to see that things are not quite right in the house.
function in a decidedly anatomical fashion. So you have very members who embarrassed to draw from closest to the house.
So now the game asks you to remember, where is the next tape? If I remember correctly, I thought it was the living room, but I'm sadly mistaken. Is it the first bedroom? No. It's the garage, I bet. It's not here. Where's the next tape? Where is it? I genuinely don't remember where the next tape is. Okay. Pardon me. So there's nothing in here. Get a grip. I'm scared to genuinely turn that on. Jesus Christ, Pencil messaged me on Skype and it scared the shit out of me. Don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. Okay. Nothing on the stairs. I'm gonna check out one of the bedrooms. Upstairs bathroom. We've never been in here before. Okay, we haven't been in here before. Clearly didn't prepare myself as much as I expected that I did. There it is. Pardon me, I thought I would honestly handle this game better.
It is easy to think of the kitchen and dining room as the stomach or digestive system of a house, though this comparison is tenuous. By contrast, the function and analog of a bathroom should be immediately obvious. The hallways and corridors of a house are its veins, providing circulation coursing throughout its frame. A staircase bears more than a passing resemblance, both physically and symbolically, to a spine. The windows of a house serve much the same purpose as eyes, and anyone who has ever rounded a bend on a long drive and come suddenly face to face with a pale, dark manor will tell you that the house is a creature capable of...
And now the light has changed. And now that we've done the living room, I don't think the next one is the garage. Maybe this one skips the garage. So if I recall correctly, after the living room and the bedroom is the basement. No, I'm wrong. It's not the basement. Fuck me. Of course it wouldn't be the basement. Why would it be the basement? And everything changed again. This time the door remains.
The bedroom is perhaps the room that most eludes direct comparison in this section. At a stretch, and allowing for a bit of poetic sympathy, it might be said that the bedroom is not unlike the human mind, or those parts of it which dictate thought and imagination. In the bedroom,
I dream that there are teeth growing all over me, everywhere on me and in me, like cysts or bone spurs. They're loose, but I can't remove them because I have no hands. I look out through the bedroom window and I see a truck approaching. A young man steps out, approaches, and enters through the front door. His body is covered in swollen ticks the size of quarters. He's walking through the downstairs hallway and laughing. He begins urinating on the wall. He spits on the carpet. He's moving through the first floor, breaking and upsetting things. He goes to the basement and stands at the top of the stairs. I'm angry at him, so I slam the door and he falls down. I can feel his bones snapping. The ticks are bursting, oozing old black blood everywhere. I can feel him being ground up, dissolved and torn, splitting and shredding. I leave the door closed. I close my eyes and try to sleep. The teeth continue growing on me until there's nothing left of me but teeth and gums and sinew.
the basement is dark.
No, your stream hasn't malfunctioned. That's completing anatomy. Or I should say, completing the second phase of anatomy. We're not done. Fucking Christ.
There is an important distinction that must be drawn between the words dissection and vivisection, a distinction that would appear to be lost on you. Your purpose was to listen, and yet at every turn you have pried, you have prodded, and you have interfered. Have you not been paying attention? Did it not occur to you that as an organism existing within a greater organism, your intrusion would be felt? And still you harassed. And now, like the wayward spider who witlessly settles upon a sweeper's tongue, you will be swallowed. Because the truth is this. When a house is both hungry and awake, every room becomes a mouth.
trouble to figure out where the fuck I'm going. Just ran across the whole lake or wall. I think it's kind of reasonable to say there's probably not something in the center of the lake. It seems like we're in a big circle. Pardon me, I didn't realize that my mic was so quiet. Or rather that the game's noises are extremely loud. I'm having trouble figuring out where exactly I should be going. I'm probably going to cut a chunk out when this goes up on YouTube. Because this is kind of ridiculous. I've been running in a big circle and just nothing's fucking happening. Unless I'm supposed to exit the game. Forgive me, I've not actually encountered this before. I typically really fucking love games that ask you to turn them off and turn them on, you know, like I'm gonna try shutting off the game and see if turning it back on does anything differently. The game closed itself. I'll try opening it again.
What happens to a house when it is left alone? When it becomes worn and aged? When its paint peels and its foundations begin to sink? When it goes for too long unlived in? What does it think of? What does it dream? How does it regard those creatures who built it, brought it into existence only to abandon it when its usefulness no longer satisfies them? It may grow lonesome. It may stare for long hours into the darkness of its own empty halls and see shadows, and its heart may jump as it thinks, here's someone again, I'm not alone. And each time it is wrong, and the hurt starts over. It may haunt itself, inventing ghosts to walk its floors, making friends with its shadow puppets, laughing and whispering to itself at the end of some quiet cul-de-sac. It may grow angry. Its basement may fill with churning acid like an empty stomach, and its gorge may rise as it asks itself through clenched teeth, what did I do wrong? It may grow bitter. It may grow hungry. So hungry and so bitter that its scruples dissolve and its doors unlock themselves. While a house may hunger, it cannot starve. And so, in fever and anger and loneliness, it may simply lie in wait. Doors open. Shades drawn. Hallways empty. Hungry.
And that's it. There's no ability to move. There's no clicking. All you can do is exit the game. So, rebooting the game one more time, I believe, restarts the whole game over. Ah, no. We're back to this screen. So, that is Anatomy. It's a very heavy game in which not like extremely heavy things happen, but rather the atmosphere is so cutting and it creates an element of unease throughout it, and tickles a philosophic edge. It's one of my personal favorite horror games of all time. You don't really do a lot in it, and there's no jump scares, but that, I think, is part of the power behind it. That plus the game has many different layers underneath it. Like, if the game shuts off you can reopen it and the game has changed itself. You know, there's different modes and methods, and that's one of the things I really liked about I'm Scared. Um, Sadly, it kind of botched it with its ending. And this one, while this ending is extremely odd and it makes you kind of feel empty and there's nothing there, um, it's kind of the point. It's supposed to make you think, I think. Um, and it kind of depicts the home, the average home that everyone lives in, everyone interacts with, and has just become a part of daily life as this predator. And I think it does it pretty well, while still appealing to a lot of the horror tropes that only things like video games can make. Anyway, this game is $2.99 out on itch.io, and once again, it's made by Kitty Horror Show, who is probably one of my favorite game developers out on itch.io. She has a Patreon that gives you access to free demos of games because she's really about experimental formatting and experimental gameplay. There's a whole bunch of other Kitty Horror Show games out there that if this game made you want to see me try more of them, I would love to. Motherbird is extremely good, and I think there's a lot of potential in what she creates if she ever decides to create a full game. I would call this like a mini game. It is a game, but it's a mini story driven game. So, anyway, that was this episode of the Screaming Closet. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Anatomy. I actually was about to legit panic in that game for a little bit. So thank you everyone for sticking with me. This game is not easy for me. So um, leave a like, comment, subscribe, whatever, you know, the whole YouTuber bullshit. And until next time, everyone, take care of your house.